Hello everyone. Wow, it's been a while since I've uploaded here, but I felt called to do so, and I hope I can keep posting here regularly. But today we are here to talk about the full moon happening in the sign of Capricorn on the 21st of July, which is tomorrow. I should have recorded this a little sooner, but well, something's better than nothing. Now, I have a few talking points written down here. I will talk about the planetary transits surrounding this full moon to give you an overview of this energy. We will feel this 3 days before and 3 days after, as with every lunation. You are welcome to click off and fast forward to the reading. I will put the timestamp in the description box down below, but I highly recommend you listen to the transits because the reading will make more sense then, right? It could be a little boring. You can always speed up the audio while I'm talking, all right? Now, we usually have 12 full moons and new moons every year, each taking place in a different zodiac sign. However, 2024 delivers a very anomalous 2 full moons, right, in the sign of Capricorn, the ambitious sea goat that rules our career, success, public image, our approach to structure, and even our long-term goals and 10-year plans, right? During the first Capricorn full moon, which happened on I think it was the 21st of June, Saturn, which is coincidentally Capricorn's ruling planet, was direct, right? Meaning it was conducting itself in its usual manner. However, in the interim period of the last 4 weeks since that full moon, Saturn has stationed retrograde in Pisces, right? Triggering a period of almost this internal reflection, because that is what Piscean energy does to us. And when planets are retrograde, and we have 3 planets in retrograde, by the way, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto, it gives us almost a chance to embrace the re's in our life, right? Think, reflection, review, reassessment, realignment, and eventually restructuring. That is the whole point of a retrograde, and we have 3 now. Now, during Saturn's very serious retrograde, because Saturn is the great disciplinarian, it's a prime time for us to notice where a desire for too much control has made you lose touch with your intuition. Saturn can make you very in the now. It can make you it can put you in a box, right? And this is very opposite from Piscean energy, which is very expansive, intuitive, compassionate, empathetic, right? It blurs boundaries. That is what Pisces energy does. And creative flow and compassionate natures of ours have taken a backseat, or at least Saturn has tried to do that, right? We now have a wonderful opportunity to restructure our own systems in life in a way that supports our highest vision, right? And something that we've most longed for, right? Our desires, what our higher self desires particularly. This is not about what your inner child needs right now. This is about your higher self. That is Pisces, right? Now, because of the second Capricorn full moon that we're having now will feel more fluid. It'll infuse us with a far dreamier approach to our goals. And I feel like we will all notice where the boundaries that we've been working on to maintain in the last 4 weeks have been paying off, right? Let me know in the comments. Have you drawn boundaries recently? I personally have, right? Difficult boundaries that needed to be drawn. I have done that myself. I want to know where you are, right? Now, it'll also become apparent at this time where a drastic new approach to how you structure your life is necessary. Where you see yourself 10 years from now, 5 years from now. Has that changed in any way? Fine, we're talking about a simple lunation. A full moon happens 12 times a year. But we have to think about the planetary transits surrounding this, right? Some of them are big. Pluto's making a huge generational transit this year. After 16 years of being in Capricorn, it's moving into Aquarius by the end of the year. So there are big moves happening in the sky. We need to keep all of that in mind, right? Now, all of this dreaminess will be exaggerated by the fact that on this second full moon, the sun and the moon form harmonious aspects to Neptune, which, as we know, is the planet of dreams, illusions, and fantasy, and it is the modern ruler of Pisces. The first Cap full moon was almost under attack from a challenging aspect to Neptune. So it might be useful now to look back to this time last month and notice where you felt especially confused, indecisive, anxious, right, or out of touch with your intuition. Maybe what I like to do is I open up my photo album and I go back a month and I see what I was doing, where I was, and I like to take screenshots of important things that I may be researching at that time. So do that, and if you keep a journal, nothing like it, right? Flip back, see what you were going through. Excuse me. Now, conversely, now on July 21st, 3 days before, 3 days after, keep that in mind, you will be boosted with intuitive awareness, right? And the capacity to visualize your desires free from fear and inhibitions. A direct Saturn can do that. It can inhibit you. But a retrograde Saturn almost befriends Pisces energy, right? And Neptune as well. Neptune retrograde is almost like a veil coming off, right? Neptune direct is veiled. It hides things. There are illusions. But once it is retrograde, those illusions lift. Now, it's a great time to meditate, journal, like I said earlier, and working with crystals, and especially reflecting on the lessons of the past 4 weeks. Now, let's see, what else do we have? Now, I think we need to nod to the other planets just a little bit. We don't want them feeling left out. Mars is forming a harmonious aspect to both Neptune and Pluto. And this literally just asks us to run wild. Let our dreams run wild, right? Get inspired and create. Create something that you never thought you'd ever be able to create. Let it be free, let it be fluid, let it be organic, let it be unstructured. All right, finger painting. That's what I'm thinking of. It came into my mind suddenly. Then Venus is forming a positive aspect to Jupiter during this full moon, which will bring potential financial gain, because Venus does rule love, of course, but it also rules our finances and luxury. There will be more travel opportunities, self-confidence will soar, and it's going to be an inherently lucky time, because that is what Jupiter energy does, right? Expands everything it touches. Now, closing this off with a very interesting fact. There are also 2 new moons in Capricorn in 2024. Can you believe it? Jan 11th is when we had the first one, and December 30th, just when we're closing off the year. So this makes 2024 a very motivating year for us, for all of us, and it will help us feel almost this renewed zest around personal and especially professional growth. All right, this went on longer than I had wanted it to, but I hope this helped. Sometimes it's important for us to look at how the planets are dancing, right, to understand how it's going to help us moving forward. Now, let's move on to our reading. I will be pulling 2 oracle cards. I'm using the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle. 2 oracles to start with as per usual, and then I will move on to a freestyle tarot spread. Now, keep in mind that this is a general reading. It may or may not resonate for all of you. Take whatever resonates and leave the rest behind for somebody else. All right, let's see. What do we have? Introspection with fluorite, Asturian. I'm guessing that's one of the chakras. We have so many chakras in our bodies. I can't keep track of most of them. And then we have Super 7, Direction, Al-Risha Star. All right, introspection and direction. There was a reason I asked you to listen to the transits before the reading. Direction, our long-term goal, which is Saturn, Capricorn. Introspection, which is Pisces, self-awareness. Now, I feel like the plans that we are making, the path that we are following, it isn't dependent on people's expectations of us. And by people, I mean society, right? Societal norms, our community. It is more introspective than that. It is more about what your higher self desires, while pleasing your inner child, of course. But moving forward with a lot of awareness, with almost this sense of duty to yourself, not a duty to anybody else, right? What is it that you want Formulate a 5-year, 10-year plan based on that. And introspection doesn't always just mean materialistic introspection. There's a reason I've been talking about your higher self. What is your higher self desiring at this point? Sometimes those desires can be unattainable, right? Our higher self will want us to awaken, to be enlightened, to be free of materialism. But that's unrealistic, right? So, keeping in mind our current self, our inner child, and our higher self, what is the path that you can follow so that once you're older and wiser, you will be content and happy? This is not about instant gratification. This is about playing the long game and eventually knowing that you will be happy when you get to the end of that game because you started planning now, right? Okay. That was a little elusive, a little vague, but let's hope the tarot can clear that up for us. But your intuition is going to be super strong right now, and I would pay attention to it. And remember, I always say this, make sure you know how to differentiate between intuition and fear. They can mimic each other sometimes. All right, the 7 of Cups, that is Neptune right there. Confusion. The Fool, direction. The 9 of Swords, anxiety, sleepless nights for some of us. And I feel like that has been happening, personally speaking as well. Now, I'm a Pisces moon and a Cancer sun, so lunations really affect me. I can't sleep the entire week of the lunation. So I don't know if you guys are going through something similar, but the 9 of Swords isn't just about nightmares and sleepless nights. It is about anxiety and overthinking. And the 7 of Cups can do that, whether it's almost like, fine, we're getting the oracle of direction, but what if there's a fork in the road? What if there's a trident in the road? What if there are multiple paths? Which one do I take? That is where introspection comes in. When you don't have enough facts currently, right, on the 3D plane, meditate. Ask your higher self. There's a reason it's called the higher self, because it is the best version of you that holds all the wisdom of previous lifetimes, right? Accessing that higher self will give you more answers than any reader could, any astrologer could. All those answers lie within us. Sometimes we need healers to help us to unlock that wisdom, but it's still there, right? It's inherently within us. This 7 of Cups is delusion and illusion in our 3D plane, right? A higher self will never be deluded. A higher self will never be illusioned. The Fool talks about taking a leap of faith. Now, the Fool can be a good card and a bad card, right? It is the first card of the major arcana. It is card number 0. So it can talk about having no emotional baggage and taking a risk, taking a leap, trusting the universe, right? While all of that is well and dandy, the Fool in the original Rider-Waite is about to jump off a cliff, right? And there's a little dog trying to stop him. I don't know if you're familiar with the illustration. But what is that dog? Now, that dog could be a friend, it could be a mentor, but more importantly, it is your intuition. Before taking any leaps, stop and think. Ask your higher self, ask your intuition what it thinks about this. Don't go by logic right now. This is not the time to apply logic. We're not talking about Mercury here. We're talking about very elusive planets and signs like Neptune and Pisces. They don't understand logic. I'm not saying Pisceans are stupid, but Pisces energy is just wholesome. It's expansive. It's large. If you get too caught up in logic right now, you will make the wrong decision. All right? Just keep that in mind. There's a reason introspection and direction have come up together. I love how oracle cards in readings always clothe the spread perfectly. Ace of Swords, stunning energy. There will be clarity, and I'm surprised I am saying this since Mercury has entered shadow. We were talking about Mercury. Mercury has entered shadow, but Ace of Cups, beautiful. And it will go retrograde soon. But the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords, they're almost balancing each other out. The Ace of Swords is pure logic, right? This is Mercury. This is Archangel Michael's sword of truth. But the Ace of Cups is water. You understand? If the Ace of Swords was here by itself, I may have had to backtrack my previous statement. But the Ace of Cups, it's almost softening the energy of the Ace of Swords. It's adding an intuitive twist to the Ace of Swords, where now the Ace of Swords is not talking about your brain or your mind, your analytical mind. It is talking about your crown and your third eye chakras. You understand? All right, I will be pulling a few clarifiers. The Six of Swords, moving on to calmer waters from a place of chaos. That's good to see. I feel like a lot of clarity is going to be brought about with this full moon, because full moons are inherently known as harbingers of, conclusions, right? Coming full circle and an awakening almost, because, the full moon, it is bright, right? It shines a light on things that have been previously hidden. If something was started 2 weeks ago on the new moon in Cancer, I think it was on the 5th of July, if I'm not wrong. If you began something around that time, whether it was physically or it was just a thought, an idea that you had planted, if there were delusions surrounding that idea, now you can expect this full moon to shine a little bit of knowledge and wisdom and clarity on those thoughts. The Six of Swords is almost like breathing a sigh of relief, where you're on this boat and the waters are choppy and you don't know where to go, you don't know where you are. But the minute you quiet your mind, you know the direction to move forward. There has been a lot of anxiety thanks to all of these planets going retrograde and with Mars opposing Uranus. There's a lot of chatter, there's a lot of mental activity. Our minds have not been able to rest. But I feel like, and I'm surprised I'm saying this during a full moon reading, because full moons can amp us up. But there's something soft about this full moon. I feel like we need to embrace this softness. It's almost like a cushion, you know. The Ace of Cups can also talk about looking at a situation differently. Now, a lot of readers can look at the Ace of Cups as an offer of love and all of that, and it can be, don't get me wrong. But in this context, I feel like the Ace of Cups is about looking at a situation with a little more kindness for yourself and others, right? I feel like with the Seven of Cups and the Nine of Swords, there's just a lot of commotion. There's finger pointing. There's a he said, she said aspect, not just to the spread, but to the planets. But I feel like this Ace of Cups is helping us reel that anger and that irritation almost back a little bit. And understanding that we all make mistakes. There is an apology here that is either due to you or due from you. I know this is not the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is usually what talks about an apology, but I'm channeling this. I can't shake it. There is some kind of apology, some kind of kindness that needs to replace some kind of ruckus. Introspection and direction. Now, Mars has entered Gemini today, and Gemini is highly mercurial in nature, right? It is really fast, analytical. And Mars being the planet of action and war, our words can be used as weapons, right? We need to avoid that at all costs, because we're going to regret it once Mars moves into Cancer. We will regret it. I feel like that is why this Ace of Cups is balancing out the Ace of Swords. Find you have a truth that you want to speak. Find there is something that is weighing heavily on your mind, and you may feel that something has been unjust or unfair, and you need to speak your piece. Hold back a little bit. Mars in Gemini is going to want you to lash out. But you're going to regret that with the Nine of Swords. It will lead to anxiety and sleepless nights. The Fool can be very careless, very reckless. Wait till you have all the information. Wait till you cool down. I think that's why the Six of Swords is here more than anything. While it is a swords card, it is about the mind. It talks about peace more than anything else. The Eight of Wands, communication. Can't make this up. There is a conversation here. Now, I'm not sure. It's going to be highly nuanced, naturally. It's going to be different for all of you. But with the Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, it's almost like you reap what you sow. Make sure whatever is happening around you, how much ever pain you may have felt in a particular situation, spread kindness. I'm getting the word kindness again and again and again. And I'm also sensing anger. If you don't forgive a particular person or a particular situation, you're not smiting them. You yourself are carrying that baggage. What's the point of that? You will not be able to release that baggage and take that true trust fall till you don't forgive. Do the Ho'oponopono prayer. Some of you really, really need to do that. The Page of Pentacles. Starting afresh. Having a beginner's mind and seeing everything with the eyes of, let's say, even a student. Sometimes we can become insufferable know-it-alls, as Snape used to say. And we can, myself included. Right? The more experience we have, the more we feel like we know. And the more confident we feel in debates. But that's your current self. What's your higher self saying? What's your inner child saying? They have different dialogues entirely. Until you open up those channels, you will not hear a word. Right? This Page of Pentacles is asking us to take a step back and start from the beginning. There's a reset that needs to happen here before you can chart a new path. I don't know if this is in a relationship, in a career, in a family situation, but there is a reset, a hard factory reset that needs to happen, because whatever this path is that you've embarked upon, there will be obstacles. I'm not saying there will not be obstacles if you don't listen to your higher self. There will be, but they will be surmountable. Whatever these obstacles are currently, they are in your way because of feelings of animosity, grudges, hate, disappointment. Those are your speed bumps. And I understand sometimes certain people don't deserve our forgiveness, but we owe it to ourselves to forgive those people. Eight of Wands again with the Seven of Cups. Avoid heavy conversations right now. Avoid heavy decisions, especially when it comes to your career path. You do not have all the information. You will. This full moon will ensure that you eventually have all of the facts that you need. But hold back just a little bit till everything is in full view. Exactly, the Two of Swords, indecision and avoidance. Exactly. It's like you want to do something, you want to take that leap, but you don't have the answers. So don't. We become a part of this rat race, right? And we feel like we need to move, otherwise we're lazy. We need to see progress in our lives, otherwise we're, unproductive. I'm getting Hanged Man energy here, which is Neptune. It's asking us to slow down just a little bit, right? Mars in Gemini will expect us to absorb this Eight of Wands energy, to go, right? Our minds to move. But Mars is not the only planet in the sky. There are so many others that are asking us to just breathe. It is a time to plan your path, not to start it. Does that make sense? Either way, it's not good to start things, especially when planets are retrograding. And we have 3. We will have 4 very soon, with Mercury joining the party. With all of these planets in retrograde, I did say it is a time to review, revisit, right? Not to move ahead. Introspection is needed at this time. The Page of Pentacles, again, there's more that we need to learn here. We don't have all the answers. There's more that we need to learn. And some of you may tell me that you have learned and you're in a good position to make a decision. I beg to disagree. So do the cards. Reel yourself back. The 7 of Cups, again, you can't make this up. Speculation and opportunity. I was talking to a client the other day, and do you remember those games that we used to play where there'd be a rock or whatever under multiple cups, and the person conducting the game would move the cups around and ask you to pick one cup that would have the stone, right? Imagine 7 cups, all right? And you've been told that one of those cups has the stone under it. So you play the game, you pick a cup, you pick another cup, you eventually open all 7 cups and there is no stone. This is literally that energy. It's like all the options in front of you, all the facts in front of you are absolutely useless. It's veiled. It's very easy for us to get lost in translation right now. Very, very easy. The shadow, which is the devil, dependence and materialism. This is Saturn, right? This is the ruler of Capricorn, the ruler of this full moon. I did say that this full moon will bring light to wherever there has been shadow, but stronger the light, stronger the shadow it casts, right? If you feel that you have a sense of clarity and purpose now, right? That you have this bounce in your step, you have that sense of direction. For me, take 5 minutes. Meditate for 5 minutes. Truly meditate. Don't just close your eyes. Go into deep meditation, 5 to 10 minutes. You will have your answer. With Pluto retrograding in Aquarius right now and soon into Capricorn, there is a lot of shadow that will crop up. Pluto is the god of the underworld, right? This is Hades. It is the king of shadows. Those shadows will bubble up. Just make sure whatever decision you are making is not from that place. That is when the Fool gets stuck with the Two of Swords. You see the placement of the cards. Don't let your shadow self be in the driver's seat. And materialism. I have been talking about not letting your current self either being in the driver's seat. Letting your higher self do the talking and the deciding. The Three of Wands, development and opportunity. And eventually, once you have the answers that you need, the true answers, not the answers you think you need, once you have those answers from your higher self, you will be able to discern the horizon. I'm not saying you're going to get there. This is a 1 week energy update. This is not the rest of your life. you will be able to discern the correct horizon for you. Don't be in a rush. Things will change, things will move. Right now, they may feel a little stuck, but try not to swim against the current. You're not supposed to do that right now. The Ten of Swords, karmic lessons, and only upwards. Oof. I suddenly got something. Don't use past trauma as a weapon either. Don't use it as a shield. Don't use it as anything. That past trauma that you have experienced is a lesson. You're not supposed to take the pain of that with you. You're supposed to take the lesson and the wisdom from that with you. If you take the pain with you, you will almost mirror that pain onto your relationships and use it as an excuse for any bad behavior. And we all do that. The karmic lessons that you are carrying, the pain and the trauma that you are carrying, it's nobody's fault. It isn't yours either. It's just something that your soul needed at that time. But it's especially not the other person's fault, the person you may be having this conversation with. Avoid lashing out at this time. That is of primal importance. It can be very easy for us to fly off the handle. But what is interesting here, we have the Ten of Swords, but we also have the Ace of Swords, which is a hard reset, right? It's like, now imagine the Ten of Swords being commands, too many commands given to a computer where it's forced to shut down, right? But then that computer reboots and restarts and you feed it one command at a time. So if your mind is overburdened and overcluttered, remove the nonsense, remove the chaos. There's nothing you can do about it. Remove it. Hold on to one thought, process it, digest it, pick up another, process, digest. If you overwhelm yourself, that is when the shadow comes out. And that is when our relationships suffer. Right? Last card. The King of Wands, leadership and success. Beautiful card to end the reading on. It's interesting how we have a page to the king. You see, it's almost like a promotion, like an instant promotion. There is something here about ascension, right? About not being stuck anymore, about having that bounce in your step for real, not a deluded bounce. There's something here about inspiration and not just something you have to do. Am I making any sense? The King of Wands is inspired, has his or her eye on the prize, on the horizon. What is your horizon? Look at the bigger picture here. We're talking about Saturn, Pluto, Neptune. These are outer planets. Their orbits are very long, right? We're not having heavy discussions about Venus and Mars. They're very close to the Earth. Their transits are very quick. These outer planets will define your long-term future. Make a list of your end goals and then make a master statement of your 10-year plan. Everything you do from this point forward has to cater to that master statement. Otherwise, you will lose your way. Right? Oof, I was hoping the reading would clarify the oracle cards, but I feel like I'm even more confused than before. But anyway, let's get a few charms to close this off. Let's see what we have. We have peace, Six of Swords, moving on to calmer waters. We have a mermaid, waters, intuition, Neptune, Pisces, right? And then we have a star, Aquarius energy, healing, wishing upon a star. We have the moon, pretty perfect since we're talking about the full moon right here. But you see how dreamy these charms are, right? Oh my God, I can't even. Can you see that? Oh, sorry, I got a little too excited. Here. I don't know if it's clear. I said dreamy and we got dream. And then we have the letter P. So, the perfect closing to a very dreamy reading. Let yourself dream a little. Let yourself float. Let yourself be untethered a little bit. It's absolutely all right. As human beings, we constantly want to ground ourselves. If you are not being able to ground yourself right now, don't. Float. Just for a little bit till you have the answers. All right. That was it. I hope this helped. I will see you in the next one, hopefully soon. Bye-bye.